Hello, it's your Dietitian Nii right here again. Today on Dromo Baby, we'll be talking about food safety issues related to babies. Now, these issues are very delicate to the extent that if you're a mother, you can lose your baby through that. Or if you're pregnant, you can have miscarriage or probably stillbirth. The first food safety tip is you need to wash your hands frequently whilst preparing or serving your baby foods. Now, bacteria from your hands or from people that handle foods are very dangerous and can affect the fragile immune system of babies, causing them to be very sick very quickly. What about the foods? Now, foods like vegetables, fruits, meats, poultry need to be treated as a suspect because all these foods can have bacteria on them or probably around them or even inside. So what you need to do is this: for these foods, kindly rinse them or wash them thoroughly before using them or before preparing them for your babies. One also other thing you need to do is that you need to cook food very thoroughly without any interruption. Sometimes whilst cooking, we often open the lids of our utensils. Sometimes try to even test these foods or try to look at whether they are prepared. Now, for all these foods, because of the bacteria's sake, when you're preparing food for your babies, you need to have a full concentration. You need to give it some time to prepare. The fourth food safety tip I want you to be very careful about is anytime you're buying a canned food from the supermarket, always check for the expiry date or the best before date. Now, these things are very important. So when you see that the dates are far passed away, kindly discard it off or probably don't buy it. Now, what about the lids? Now, it's very important that when you buy a fresh canned food, you need to have that sound when you open it. So when you open it and it has a loose lips or probably a rust around the lids, please kindly don't buy it. And even if you have it at home, please discard it immediately. So the fifth point I want you to also note is avoid feeding your babies directly from the can or jars like this, because sometimes bacteria can be transferred from the mouth of your baby into the jars, which can contaminate it. So the right thing is to do that. If you want to feed your baby, always dish out the food into plastic bowls like this and feed them directly from inside. And also one thing you need to do is that feed them with a plastic spoon so you don't have bruises or cuts with a metal spoon. The sixth food safety point is never leave prepared foods or open jars or cans at room temperature like about 2 hours. The reason is this: when you leave the food like this at room temperature, they provide grounds for some bacteria to breed, making the food very contaminated. Then when you feed the baby with that particular food, the child becomes infected and may be experiencing some symptoms like bacteria, headache or fever. So the seventh food safety point you need to also note is that when you want to serve your baby or feed a baby, just transfer just a small amount of food into a separate dish like this and serve your baby. Then the rest, you cover it and transfer it or save it in the refrigerator. Now, what your baby leaves behind, do not save it, discard it, and always wash your bowls after feeding. The eighth food safety point you need to note. Now, always cover your food before reheating. So if you don't have probably a heater or a stove at home, you can equally boil water into a bowl like this. Then you can seat your covered bowl tightly into the warm water and make sure it's being heated all around before you serve your baby. Our last food safety tip for the day is always clean your surfaces before and after, or probably clean the utensils also before and after cooking. Enclosed in this book, The Ghanaian Women Guide for Feeding Babies and Toddlers, is a variety of sample menu plans and homemade recipes you can try at home. If you want to order a copy, just call the Dromo Baby office in Accra